Hey, Joanne. Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Good for you, Lisa. Atta girl. Alrighty, let's get started this evening. Hello, hello, and welcome everyone. Welcome to my Tuesday evening Facebook Live with the Wexford Stamper. My name is Barbara Reed, and we are going to be doing a fun Christmas card this evening. And the reason I'm sharing this is, hey Jean, is because this is something that you can make. If you have some random holiday designer series paper that you might not have the coordinating dies or stamps to, but you can still use it and make a great card. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Hi Diane. Hi Deb. Welcome everyone. Well, thank you for being so gracious about last week. We went to Pittsburgh for a football game, and here's a picture of Joe and I in Pittsburgh. We had a great time, but we actually kind of screamed our lungs out, and unfortunately Clemson did not win, but we had so much fun. It was my first time I'd ever been to Pittsburgh, either of us really, and we had a lot of fun walking around, seeing the sights, and eating. We found some nice restaurants to eat. And it was kind of cold and wet. And here I have a picture here that we were at Heinz Field, which is where the Steelers play. And of course, we were the away team. So these are the great tickets we got from Pitt. So we could sit in actually the second row from the top. So there was one row behind us, and then it was the tippy top of the upper deck. So it was cold and it was windy up there, but we had a great time. And we actually moved down a little bit as the game went on, and we had a lot of fun. But Heinz Field is really cool. I'd never been there before, so we had so much fun. And we hope to get back to Pittsburgh sometime. It was fun. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Remember, as always, there will be a downloadable PDF on my blog that you can download. It was a bird's eye view. You weren't kidding. I think there was some birds that were a little lower than us, and actually the Goodyear blimp was there, and I think we had a better view of that than we did of the football field. And we couldn't even hear our band playing. We were so far up. But hey, it was still fun. That's what you get when you go to an away game, right? They don't give you the best seats in the house. All right, so here is your downloadable PDF. If you go to my blog this evening after I finish, this will be there for you to download with all the directions, all the dimensions that you're going to need for everything. So I think you're really going to like this card. It's a fun fold card, and it's called a Pop and Swing card. This card was inspired by Lisa Curcio, who is a who is a demonstrator, a current demonstrator that I love to watch her Facebook Lives. But she gave me this idea because I have the issue that I buy all the paper, of course, all the different Christmas papers, but I don't always get the sets, like the dies and the stamps to go with it. So this card allows you to kind of use what you have. And that's what I like to always share with you guys. You can always use what you have. So let me show you how this opens. It might be a little hard to show on here, but it kind of opens up, and the center insert is kind of like a, I don't know, almost W, half a W. And then you have your sentiment there. And then when you close it, the sentiment kind of pivots like that. And then it shows here, and then you can see it from the inside as well. So it's a really cute card. I think it's super easy. So I'm going to show you how to make this. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Now let me talk a little bit about the materials I'm going to use first. Hi, Renee. Hi, Rise. Nice to see you gals. All right, now what you do is you can go into your holiday stamp stash. Thank you, Lisa. It's super fun. Just wait till you see. And I just pulled out some of the stamp sets that I have. Now, this Christmas to Remember is current, but I know you probably have something in your stash already. It just has a lot of really great sentiments. So I use this one for the front sentiment. May this be a Christmas to remember and cherish. That I put on the front. And the reason I picked that one, another reason was it fit perfectly into the circle that I picked. That's another thing. You want to find one that'll fit in your circle. And then from the tides and trimmings, I just used the little cheers from Our Home to Yours for on the inside. But go ahead and just go through your stash, see what you have, because that's really all you're going to need other than your paper. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to bring in my card base here. Now I'm going to make it a little different. Oops, this is the wrong color. I'm going to make it a little different. I'm going to use a different design from the paper. The paper is Whimsy and Wonder. And that paper has lots of beautiful foil accents. This one I used here had the little ornaments. I'm going to use a different one for this next one. All right, I'm going to start with a very basic card base. Nothing different than what we usually have. This is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Okay, so that is going to be our card base. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to get your card front. And for this one, I picked this pretty foil holly. Isn't that pretty? I just love the little bits of foil in this. So pretty. And I'm going to adhere that right to the front of the card using my Tombow. Now you don't want to put too much towards the center because we're going to be cutting a hole out of the front of our card. I know that sounds hard to do, but it's really, really simple. So this is a 4 by 5 1/4 sheet of Designer Series paper. So go dig through some of your great holiday paper that you have and find something you like. All right. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to grab my layering circles. Okay. And we are going to cut a hole in the front of the card. Now let me make sure I get the right size one here. It is 2 1/8 is the size of the circle. Yep, this is it. All right, so that's the size of the hole I'm going to cut out of the front of the card. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my cut and emboss machine here. Open up my card. Hope everybody's doing well, and it's finally fall, I think. A little bit wet and dreary today, but I do appreciate the cooler weather. Okay, and then I'm going to put the hole in my card a little bit towards the top, not right in the center of the card front, a little towards the top. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and put my sandwich together here and put it through. Now it's going through a few layers, so I'm going to run it through a few times just to make sure that it punches all the way out. Okay, so let's take our cut and emboss machine away, bring this back in, and there we have it. So So there's our hole for the front of our card. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and make the little frame that goes around that circle on the front. Let me show you how I did that. I took some Mossy Meadow and I took the circle that's the same size as the circle that I just cut out, and I took the next size up. Oops, that's not the right one. Let's see, it must be this one here. There we go. Okay, so I know this one is 2 1/8. This one might be 2 1/2. So you just want to take, hi Sharon, welcome. You just want to take the next size up of your layering circles. Okay, then you're going to go ahead and run that through your machine, and you're going to come out with a big circle in the middle, but then you're going to have this little ring. This is the section between both of the circle dies, and that is going to fit perfectly on your front of your card as your little frame. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take a little more Tombow, and we're going to adhere that to the front of the card. I just think that gives it a little more, with this sentiment there, it really shows off the sentiment a little bit. So there we go. All right, now let's get ready to make the inside. This is the fun part. Okay, we're going to first take a piece of basic white cardstock. Okay, this is cut at 4 1/4 by 6 inches, scored at 2 and 4. Okay, now I've already scored those, and all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and fold on the score lines. All right, so you're going to kind of fold them in a mountain and a valley. Okay, and then what we do next is we're going to open our card, and I am going to put glue on the rightmost panel only, not on the whole thing, just the right panel, and adhere that to the back of the card base. Let me show you how that works. Better to show you than to try to explain. Okay. Now I'm going to put this down as if I was putting it in here. So you want to have a little bit of a border of the mint macaron around, but you only want to adhere down the back panel here. Okay, see if everybody can see that, how I did that. There we go, that's better. Okay, so you still have this section here that's loose. All right, now, before we do the adhering of the panel down, I want to go ahead and add a couple more panels here. So I have 2 more Designer Series paper panels, and these are both cut at 2 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Okay, and we're going to put those right here on these 2 panels there. Okay, so I'm going to grab my glue again. Now it's going to completely cover the panel. You won't see any white showing at the top or the bottom. So it covers the entire panel, but you're going to still see the mint macaron. You're going to leave the middle panel blank, and then you're going to move over to the left-hand panel, do the same thing. Okay, remember you're not going to see any of the white. I'm going to fold it down. All right, so far so good. Everybody sticking with me? Okay, now I'm going to show you the trick for putting the card together. Let me show you the sample here. Okay, you can see that the panel here is connected to the card front with these little tabs, and I'm going to show you how those tabs work. Okay, you're going to have 2 tabs, and you're going to make sure that they're the same color as your card base, which is mint macaron for me. And these are cut at 1/2 inch by 4 inches and scored at 2. All right, so I'm going to just fold them in half. And we're going to adhere these to the top and the bottom of this panel. Okay, so let me show you how this works here. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to the back side. Okay, you're going to pick one side of the panel, of this strip. You're going to put glue only on one side. And then you're going to adhere it to the edge of this panel so that the fold is lined up against the edge of the inside panel. Okay, then you're going to do the same thing at the bottom. I'm hoping you're understanding this. Let me know. Give me some hearts if I'm making sense tonight. Okay, same thing here at the bottom. Okay, you're going to put this down at the bottom. It doesn't really matter exactly where you put it. I gave it about maybe 1/8 of an inch from the bottom, but I want to make sure that my fold is right against the edge of the, thank you, Joanne, the edge of the panel. All right, so fold, fold, right there against. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put it together with the rest of the card. So what you're going to do now is you're going to close this down and let these two tabs extend out toward the fold in the center of the card. Can you guys see that? Because it's the same color. Okay, so I've glued them there. Now I'm going to fold this panel like an accordion here all together. And I'm going to let the 2 tabs extend out toward the fold of the card. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and carefully put glue on the other half of the tabs. Okay, hey Linda, nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. All right, now I'm going to close the card and put a lot of pressure so those tabs will adhere to the inside of the card. Now I'm going to open it up, and there you have your fun fold. Okay, you see how that works on the inside. Now this part's really, really easy. Okay, you're going to notice that when it folds shut, you have a half of a designer series paper circle there. Well, that's good. You want that because this is what we're going to adhere your circle to on the front. Okay, so let me show you that. Remember, we cut a 2 1/8 inch circle out of the front of the card. So you want to make sure you have the same size circle out of basic white. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that down there, and we're going to do a little bit of stamping. Okay, we're going to take the May This Be a Christmas to Remember and Cherish. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on the circle. See how well that fits there? Isn't that great? Okay, now watch how this goes on here. You're just going to take your Tombow and you're going to carefully put glue just on the half, just inside the ring. You don't want to get it on too many things or it's going to make the card stick together. Then I'm going to go ahead and place my circle inside. There we go. And then open it all the way, make sure it closes and opens, And you'll want to make sure you give it a couple of opens and close to make sure things are opening and closing smoothly. But that's how easy it is. Okay, so I open here and I can see the sentiment from the inside. And then when I close, it is the front sentiment. And I just remembered I forgot to put my sentiment on this center, and I can't do it now because the card actually does not open flat. Okay, so you want to always be sure that you do your sentiments before putting the card together. I usually do that, but I didn't today. But you can put a sentiment on here. Just make sure you do that before you attach. So there we have the front of the card. Now let me show you how I jazz this guy up. Okay, there was another piece of paper in this designer series paper stack that had these cute little presents. Aren't these just adorable? And I thought they would be a great addition to the front of the card. See here, I actually used a little ornament, and that I just fussy cut out of one of the pieces. Okay, and then I didn't have to worry that I didn't have the stamp set or the die set that went with it. You can just grab another piece of the paper and find a cute little ornament here. Now this time we're going to do some of the presents. Now you want to be careful when you put your ornament on that you're not getting anything sticky inside the circle that's going to stop your card from opening and closing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use a couple of these presents. Let's see, what can we do here? Since I'm kind of winging it here. So I think I'll do a present there and maybe a present like here. Let's see, how should we do this? Barb is winging it a little today. I wanted to come up with a different design. It's the exact same paper, but you can make a very different looking card. So I'm going to try, let's see, I think I'll do that. Oop, let's turn this so the bow is the right way. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my dimensionals and put a couple over kind of to the right edge so that I can let it hang over a little bit here, like that. And I can see that that isn't bothering the card at all. Okay, and then finally, let's put another little present on the front. And put that there. Okay, so there's two little presents on the front of the card. Hi, Cheryl. Nice to see you. Welcome, never late. Don't worry about it. All right, so now I love this ribbon, and I'm going to put a similar bow on this. This is some of the best ribbon in the catalog. I love this ribbon. It can be used for a lot more than Christmas. This is called the Glitter Organdy ribbon. And what I did is I tied a nice bow. And I'm going to take some glue dots. Actually, just one. And I'm going to put the knot of the bow right on that glue dot. Then grab my pick tool. And I'm going to put my, let's turn it the other way so we have the loops on the top. There we go. And I'm going to put that over here to the side. So there you go. There's another way you can make the pop and swing card using the exact same designer series paper stack as you did before and have a very, very different card. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial tonight. I hope you give it a try. Go in there and see what papers you might have left over and give it a try. But it's really, really simple. And remember, you can always pick up my PDF if you'd like to have that while you're putting it together. If you have any questions or anything about the construction of the card, check out my blog. This video will be on my blog as well as the PDF, or you can always contact me if you have any questions on how to make it. But it is a super fun fold card. So everybody, I hope you're having fun making holiday cards, and tune in next Tuesday for another fun holiday project. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. Keep on stamping.